I am breaking some major news with Alan Margolis joining Avamore Capital as director. Alan, massive congratulations on the new role. Firstly, obviously, and I'm sure this will be the question that many will want to ask, is what were the biggest reasons behind you joining Avamore?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for that, Bev. Well, basically, it was an opportunity to work with a young and dynamic team. I've known Zuhair and Michael for quite some time now, so I've always got on very well. So this was an opportunity to go and work with some people that I have a good relationship with. And then when you combine that with the rest of the Avamore team that they told me about, then really there was an opportunity that's too good to pass up.
What are you aiming to implement or achieve in your new role as director in I guess the first 12 months or so?
Well, yeah, I'm glad you gave the time frame because I've only been there a couple of days. Well, look, the first thing there is we're starting with a fantastic foundation. So my ambition is to go in there and to see how we can build on what we have already. So that's going to include a whole variety of things. It's going to look at our processes, our technology, could look at our products, our marketing. It's going to cover the full range of what we can do to improve the business for our borrower customers and our broker customers, and also clearly move Avamore up the ladder in terms of being a major player in the market.
Considering you've worked at a number of prominent specialist banks in the past, how will you be utilizing your skills at a smaller lender such as Avamore?
Okay, so banks clearly by definition are more highly regulated, and they're highly structured, and they simply have to be. Within that, when you operate like that, there are some fantastic things that one learns and ways to function. And what I can take, and I now have the ability, is to take some of the best things that a bank has as a lender, the way a bank operates, and where appropriate, apply that professionalism that comes with the bank, and apply that to a smaller, more dynamic and more entrepreneurial lender like Avamore.
I think many would agree that appointing a big name in the industry such as yourself is quite a telling sign of bigger things to come. So I'm sure brokers would want to know what changes, including products, funding, processes, tech. I know you brushed upon it a bit earlier. What out of those can brokers expect from Avamore in the near future? Okay,
so firstly, Rome wasn't built in a day, as the saying goes. So it is going to take a bit of time, but to use your time frame in the 12 months, we can certainly expect that we're going to look to improve our processes and the journey of the customer experience that people have, particularly with bridging. The bridging typically and always, but is more vanilla than development. And I think there are ways that I would look to make the bridging process somewhat more different to the development process that we have at the moment, which quite rightly takes a somewhat different path to a lot of bridging loans. Then there is plenty else for us to do, but let me make this crystal clear. I haven't arrived at Avamore to lob in a grenade. This is about building what we have, and it's more tinkering than it is to blowing something up. And I've seen that even in my first few days. I've seen professionalism, the capability of the team. And it's a young team, but really I've been absolutely blown away by what they're capable of doing and the way they present it and the professionalism. So we're building, but we will be making changes. That's what we've been brought in to do, is to bring in my experience, particularly from starting back with Cheval and then working through with UTB and then Masthaven, and saying, right, well, what can we do to do things better? It's as simple as that. There's plenty to do, but I'm doing it from a position of strength. It's not as if this is things that we have to do as a matter of crisis or a matter of urgency. This is taking something that's really very, very good and making it even better.
You're with Avamore, I think most would say that they are well known for the development exit product that they have, whereas your background's heavily in bridging. So would that suggest that there's going to be a bigger push in bridging going forward?
Well, look, I don't think I would be giving a state secret away here to say that would be part of my ambition, and part of my remit is to expand significantly what we do in the bridging space. And of course, in some ways, you might argue it's kind of easier to go from something that's a more complex product and experience and processes, and then use that to implement changes for something that's relatively more straightforward. It's harder to go the other way, which is to take yourself from, say, a more vanilla bridging lender and then move into the development space with the inevitable complexity that comes with development loans. So yes, absolutely. In short, the answer, I can give you a non-political answer. The answer is yes.
We've also seen the company expand its geographical boundaries since last year. What plans do you have to drive up lending in the regions?
Well, I mean, that's right. The first thing we need to do is we need to see how the initial bite goes in the geographical regions, because it's only recently that we've expanded the geographical presence. It's probably a bit too early to give anything definitive. It's important for me and for the business, obviously, that we have an increased geographical spread. So you reduce your geographical concentration. At the moment, more of a southern-based lender is historically what Avamore has been. So if we can increase our lending in those areas, the targeted areas that we've already aiming for, and then we can look to go and look possibly to go even further. But I think, baby steps here, Beth, just to see how it goes. But there's plenty of business out there and plenty of opportunity outside, certainly, of that line that historically has been drawn, south of the Wash.
And also, we reported in January that the business reached £250 million of total lending. What lending figures can you share that you are targeting for this year and also 2022, and how do you aim to get there?
Okay, sure. So the target for 2021 was £100 million, and I can say that we're going to comfortably exceed it. So clearly, if we're comfortably exceeding this year's target, we're going to be looking for significantly more next year in 2022. How do we do that? Well, I think that's probably what we've touched on earlier. That's going to be looking at, firstly, we're going to have a higher profile in the market, or that there is no question in my mind. Avamore has expanded its staff recently. We've taken on more people. We're going to have a greater presence in the market. I hope I'll bring some sort of weight to that as well. We'll be looking at our products. That always would include, obviously, but not only pricing. And we'll be looking at our processes, as I've said a couple of times already, to improve it so that once people have used us, they will have no reason to go anywhere else. And we'll be looking at products for certain. There's always room, as you well know, probably better than most, there's always room to innovate. It never stops. It's a very, very competitive industry that we're in, and you can't stand still, as you know. So we'll be looking to do things maybe differently, but build upon our strengths. It's already a fantastic business, and we just have to go out and let, I think, more of the broker community know actually what we have to offer.